Hey guys, what is happening? Abnormality here again for another episode of Let's Play Paper Mario. We are about halfway through the prologue. We just came across the Red and Blue Goomba. They are kind of the sidekicks to the King Goomba, who will be fighting very shortly. This is when I choose to use the Fire Flower. You'll see why. It's most effective right here. We don't really need it later on. It only does 3 damage, so not a whole lot, but it helps. And if you guys remember from last week, we did just walk right past a heart, so don't worry about getting too low in health right now. We'll just run back and heal up from that before we press on. One of the cool things about Goombario is he has a tattle ability, which tells us the enemy's attack power and their health. So he's got 7 health, 1 attack power, and then their health appears above their head. And you'll notice next time we come across these guys, their health will remain above their head. So you only have to tattle each type of enemy once, and from then on you'll know their health all the time. So not a bad idea early on is when you come across a new enemy, the first time you see them, whip out Goombario, tattle them, and then every time you encounter them from now on, you'll know their health, which is incredibly handy. There is a badge that you can get later on for that purpose. I believe it's called Sneak Peek, in which it shows you the enemy's health without having to tattle them. Just quickly save. Don't touch that mushroom. It'll pop off and turn into a spiked Goomba. I have made that mistake many times before. I'm ashamed to say it got me more than once. What an amazing castle. Just a square with a big cylinder sticking out the top. There is a trick to this part here. You'll notice we just fought the Red and Blue Goomba, so their health starts lower, which is really handy. Okay, so we just got the red guy last time with the tattle, so he's the only one whose health we see. Now for this first move, you're going to want to grab your hammer, move to the left where that little white X is on the tree. We're going to hit the Goom Nut tree. And we get a few kills right off the bat, which is incredibly handy. See, that's why we used our Fire Flower earlier. No point in using it in this battle if we can just do that. This is the goofiest king. I don't know how he became king of anything. Bowser in his almighty wisdom just gave the biggest people the power, and you'll see later on how well that worked out for him. Before we go on, hit this tree. We should get a star piece. And down here there will be a bush. That gives us a switch. Hit the switch. And down comes the castle. But it comes down in a way you wouldn't expect. First of all, who has a switch to pull down the castle? Like, it seems like a really poor design choice. Like, worse design choice than... Look at the window fell off. It's a worse design choice than the building of the Death Star with the hole in it. I mean, at least with the Death Star, you had to shoot a torpedo into a tiny little hole. Here, you just have to shake a bush and hit a button. I guess that's what Bowser's motto is. Building stuff worse than the Death Star. Yeah. The Koopa Bros. I don't know if you saw that mentioned in red there. I've read it enough. I know what's going on. The Koopa Bros are the first boss in the first chapter. Sorry, the main boss in the first chapter. They're pretty fun. I remember playing this game when I was really young. And they were like the toughest boss ever. I had such a tough time beating them, and then I didn't have another struggle until I think chapter 6 or 7. I found them super tough, but they're not that hard. Sleepy sheep? Yep. Hit this tree, it'll drop a bouncy thing. There's a chest with a badge up here. And the thing that always throws me off is the right side of this roof looks like you can just jump off it. You can't. Just mess with you. Pain in the ass. Welcome to Toad Town. This is your main hub. This connects you to all the different chapters in the game. They've got shops. That's the dojo there. If you want to train, you can fight those guys. That's Merlin's house, one with the spinny roof. We are going to go to Shooting Star Summit. And I'm sorry guys, this is going to be a very boring episode. There's not a lot going on. So we'll see if we can finish up to chapter 1, so next week it's just going to be full action for you. See if next week we can finish off the entire Koopa Bro Fortress. Star piece heading over here. I don't know if I'll be able to do a full... Oh no, we won't be able to next week. 15 minutes just isn't enough time. We have to make a stop in Koopa Village first. Koopa Village is pretty fun though. Oh man. Now maybe 4 or 5 times during the game you actually have to play as Peach and you have to walk around her castle, and in my opinion it's the only thing in this game that could have been better. I think if they just left out this Peach walking around, sure you wouldn't get the full story, but they could give it to you another way. It's really boring playing as Peach because it's the same thing every time. You break out of your room the same way every time. And then all you do is you go to a different room that relates to the chapter you just beat. Like there's one where you play a trivia game, and regardless of whether you win or lose or get anything right or wrong, it's all the same result. I don't think the Peach story was necessary to this game. Like, I don't mind this part where they're talking and you learn what Peach is doing to help Mario, and Twink relaying the messages back to Peach and all that, but I don't think it's necessary that you play as Peach. Just seems like a waste of time to me. Other than that, this game is perfect. And really, you only play with Peach 5 minutes at a time, so maybe 20-25 minutes throughout the course of the game. So it's not huge, but they kind of interrupt you at good moments in the game to make you play as Peach. In this part, I'm going to read a little bit more carefully so we don't have to do his dumb tutorial. Basically, his tutorial is just telling you about the action command. No. Please do not. Okay. So basically what the action command is when you're attacking enemies, you can, if you push the right button at the right time, you get a bonus attack. And when enemies are attacking you, if you push it at the right time, you survive. Or you can take more damage. You don't get as much damage on you. Or something. Oops, that was not done very well. Her attack is far too slow for me. That's okay, we leveled up. Early on, I usually do health points and flower points. And then later on in the game, when you get better badges and can access better badges, badge points become crucial too. But for now, the badges you get aren't great, so I don't really worry about badge points until I'm maybe level 5 or 6. Usually get my health to 20 and or 25, and get my flower points to 15 or 20. Go talk to Merlin. Just keep knocking until he answers. He's a talker. Mario actually falls asleep. Alright, let's go do chapter 1. Oh wait, there's guys in my way. Those don't look like normal toads, they're gray. Toads are usually white. Alright, let's go see what Merlin has to say. If you talk to him on this side of his crystal ball, he'll give you a reading, which don't do. Just come talk to him on this side. You'll notice when I was on the other side of the table, the red exclamation mark appeared. That means the action or whatever, instead of talking. If you just go around the table and talk to him, then he'll come out and strike them down. Boom. Oh, it was the Koopa Bros. Alright, well, we are going to stop here for now. As soon as I walk through that doorway, we are going to be on to chapter 1, so we'll save that for next week. And thanks for watching again, guys. You guys are awesome. Tune in next week.